story time on how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my parents while I do a get ready with me for Thanksgiving. Okay, so starting off from the beginning, around May, like the first week of May, I got invited to a party, and around that time, my period was about a month late, I want to say. I had already been noticing for a while that my period was late, but I didn't really think anything of it because I have a really irregular period, and I thought it was just from stress because I had finals during that time, so I assumed like I was just stressing a lot because I had so many exams, and I didn't really have any symptoms either besides my period being late. Anyways, so my friend invites me to a party, and I'm like, okay, my period's really late, so I was keeping that in mind. And I go get dinner with one of my best friends, and I'm like telling her like about the party, that my period was late, and like how I didn't want to be drinking if I was pregnant, because that was obviously a possibility, but I didn't really think I would be, but I was like, just in case, like I want to take a test. So after dinner, we go and we buy the test, and literally guys, like this is so embarrassing. The Walmart we went to, the pregnancy tests are locked, so you literally have to press the button to get an associate to take it out for you, and a man comes, and he literally grabs it, and he walks me in front of all of Walmart, and walks me, ignore my nose, and walks me to the checkout aisle with the pregnancy test in his hand for the whole world to see. So I was obviously very humiliated to let the whole world see that I was going to be taking a pregnancy test. But anyways, I get home, I take it. Literally guys, that's how fast it came out positive. When I tell you, like, I thought it was broken. So I automatically, obviously, tell my best friend, and me and her are both in shock because, like, yeah, even though my period was late, I genuinely did not think I was pregnant because I had no symptoms at all. Even to this day, I really never had any symptoms. Like, I never got morning sickness. I just didn't really have any symptoms besides, I did have a lot of hormonal acne though, like my face and skin was at the worst it had ever been. And so after I tell my best friend, I obviously have to tell the dad of the baby, and me and him, we're not on speaking terms. We literally had each other blocked on everything, and we're both doing our own thing already. And by the way guys, he's not like a random guy. This hair is driving me crazy. We dated for 3 years, so I didn't just like get pregnant by like a random ass guy, if that's what you're thinking. So I unblock him and I tell him the news. He thinks it's a joke, but I was obviously not joking, because why, like, first of all, me and him could not stand each other during this time, so it's like, why would I willingly want to reach out to you and play a joke when we don't even want to speak to each other? But yeah, neither of us believed it. So a couple days later, he buys me 3 more tests just to be sure, and they all come out positive. So I end up telling my older sister because I obviously had no idea what I was gonna do, and then I end up telling my aunt about it because I was obviously freaking out about how to tell my parents. So she made me an appointment to do like a confirmation pregnancy test, and she was like, let's just know for sure before you actually have to tell your parents. So I did the confirmation test, and it's also positive. 4 tests all came out positive, and I was, oh no, 5 tests, and I was still in denial, guys. Like literally I could not get it through my head. And so at this appointment, they end up telling me like how far along I am, and they tell me I'm literally 2 months pregnant. When I tell you, like even to this day, I'm still like, I still can't believe it, but they were telling me I was 2 months and that I was gonna be due in December. Could you imagine finding out you're pregnant in May and then finding out you're gonna have the baby the same year? That's really no time to process it. Like, how was I supposed to find out I was already 2 months and the baby was gonna be coming the same exact year? So then basically reality starts to set in. Not really, but more like the consequences are like coming to me now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like my parents are literally gonna kick me out because they always told me like if I get pregnant, I'm out the house. Where am I at though? Anyways, they always told me they're gonna kick me out the house, and then my parents are also very old school, so very much like I need to get married before I have kids. So I was like, crap, like they're gonna make me get back with my ex and make us get married and live together, and I was literally like, I was dreading that. And so basically like we're trying to think of when will be the right time to tell my parents, because my mom, her intuition is scary and she catches on like that. Oops, it's kind of looking crazy. Like literally, I shit you not, the day I took the first pregnancy test after dinner with my best friend, I sit down on the couch with my parents, and my mom looks at me and she's like, do you have anything you need to tell me? And I was like, bro, like how does she know already? Like anytime I do something sneaky behind her back and my mom hits me with that line, I'm like, how does she know? Like what the hell is in her head telling her that I'm doing something? And then my mom starts to notice like little things, I guess, and starts making like a bunch of like little pregnancy joke comments, and I'm literally like, bro. And then she started noticing like it had been a while since I had bought pads or that I started my period, because all of us are in sync, like me, my mom, and my younger sister. So she starts to notice like it had been a minute. And I was originally gonna wait till I was like entering my 2nd trimester to tell my mom just to be safe, but obviously I was running out of time because my mom was catching on very quickly, and like every time I wanted to tell her it was like something coming up, it was like Mother's Day, so like, I can't tell her before Mother's Day, and then she got really sick for a week, so I couldn't tell her because she was sick, and then she was like stressing with other things, so it was like never the right time to tell her, you know what I mean? And basically like it's just eating me up inside, so I'm like, okay, I need to tell my parents and like spit it out already because I'm gonna go crazy and they're gonna find out any second. So basically we're like at the end of May already, and I tell my aunt and my sister like, hey, I'm gonna tell my mom like I need y'all. And so my aunt like basically tells me like if I need a place to stay I can go stay with her if like things go bad, and like my sister comes so that she can help me break the news to my parents. So my sister comes over and she calls my mom to my room, and she tells my mom basically this is gonna be a grandma, and my mom thinks that my sister is talking about herself because my sister is like 30, so obviously my mom's gonna assume that my sister is not making her grandma. Okay, I'm gonna finish up my makeup real quick and put on my outfit, and I'll be back to finish the story. Okay, makeup, outfit, whatever. Back to the story. Unfortunately for my mom, it was not my sister making her a grandmother, it was me, and my mom has no grandkids, so I'm the first one to make her grandma basically. And she was obviously very angry and was like, what the hell, like I'm pretty sure you can assume what my mom was telling me. And she basically told me that I have to tell my dad, and I'm like, I'm not looking my father in the eye and telling him I'm pregnant, because I'm my dad's firstborn, so imagine having to tell your dad that his first baby girl is pregnant. No, I did not have it in me. So my sister goes and tells him for me. So my sister tells my dad thinks my sister's joking. He calls me to the room to confirm that it was not a joke, and I was like, nope, it's not a joke. And they're both very angry with me obviously, and thankfully they didn't kick me out, but he just told me to go to my room. And when I came to my room, I just started packing my things, because even though like they didn't throw me out, I still wanted to give them their space because I knew things were going to be too intense at home, and it just wasn't going to be good for me to be here during my first trimester, because I would be stressed out really bad. So I packed my things and I go stay with my aunt for a few weeks. And then basically, like, once things have calmed down at my house, I come back and I'm here now. And yeah, fast forward, I am 37 weeks tomorrow. So this baby is about to pop any second, if you can't tell, like literally. But yeah, so they're still kind of trying to process and accept it, and so am I, but I'm sure they're happy now. And the baby's dad is in the picture. We're just not together, but we're both equally committed to having a healthy co-parent relationship for the sake of the baby and to give our baby the best life regardless of our differences. And we get along. It took us a while to start getting along, but we both put our differences aside, obviously, because our feelings aren't what is important, the baby's what's important. And yeah, so here's to a healthy co-parenting relationship. Anyways, here's dress, makeup. Hope you enjoyed the story time. I'm gonna go eat.
Get ready with me while I tell you one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. So last year I moved from Seattle to Las Vegas, and I drove from Seattle there with my friend. And it was actually creepy because we were in the middle of nowhere majority of the drive. My friend and I were just talking about cutting it up into days so we don't have to like drive all in one day. I think it was like 6 hours. But as we were driving, honestly, I was getting the energy to just keep going. Like I literally wanted to get to Vegas that night and we were gonna do it. Everything was literally great. We were just like listening to music all in the daytime. But then once it hit night is when it all went just sideways. My parents made the drive the day before, and they did tell me that we definitely should stop somewhere and spend the night, because when you pass a certain point, which is Idaho, you don't have anywhere to go after that. So if you want to stop driving, like you don't really have an option. I, of course, just didn't take that advice, which I don't know why, because I'm not gonna say I'm the worst driver, but I'm also just not confident. We got to Idaho, it was actually pitch black. To add on to that, it was pouring down rain and thundering and had major storm warnings. This made driving like actually impossible. We couldn't see literally 2 feet in front of us and there was nobody on the roads. My friend and I realized, okay, this is impossible. We're just gonna have to go stop at a hotel. So we tried to do that, but then they didn't have any availability in any of the rooms. So we were like, okay, let's just go. Let's just keep going. As we're driving, we realized, oh my goodness, we need gas like now, like actually now. We see an exit sign and we see a bunch of gas stations and food places. So we were gonna stop at that, but then it was closed off. On the sign, it said, past this sign, you don't have anywhere to go for over 200 miles or something crazy. So we passed that exit and we're like, what do we do about gas? This is where it gets crazy. Go to part 2.
I'm gonna tell you guys about the time I made a diss track and got suspended for it.
Treat the acne, Sarah B.
Okay, so this story starts my sophomore year of high school. And basically this new kid moves to my school, right? Tell me why when this kid comes, he immediately starts being racist. Like I'm telling you, I could be walking down the hall and he'll be making monkey noises as I walk past. So I was already down to throw hands from day one. But the only thing is, this was a boy and not a girl. So basically he can get away with being a bitch. And I couldn't do anything about it. And I just had to clench my fist. Guys, I remember once he texted me on Insta and he literally sent me a gif of like a whip. Like a slave master and a whip. The audacity is crazy. Okay, so the story really starts when one day I was sharing the same class as him and he started to say shit like, oh, where's your dad? Bitch, my dad is right here. Like, what are you actually talking about? But basically he was like rage baiting me the whole time. I fell for that shit. Actually trying so hard not to tweak out, like you guys don't understand. It just makes me mad even thinking about it, like I can't. But then basically we leave the classroom and I find him again outside of the class. And I had this little fight video of him in my phone. And so when I find him outside, I show it to him like this. And I can see he gets hella pissed off because in the fight video, he gets his ass beat. Y'all, this man says, show me again. Tell me why he smacks my phone out of my hand and it shatters. So basically this kid broke my iPhone, right? I'm talking about I can't even use the screen without glass getting in my finger. So I'm like, oh. So then I show him my phone and I'm like, you broke my phone, are you gonna pay for it? He was like, I'm not paying for that shit. You're not paying for what? So then I took my ass over to the office and I was like, so-and-so broke my phone. Guys, tell me why the office literally does nothing about it. I end up calling my parents and then my parents are mad at me telling me that I started it. I was actually so flabbergasted. I was like, this cannot be happening because why is nothing being done about this? So then as a little joke, like one day in class, I started to write a song. One thing about this guy was that he had like really bad acne. So I named the song Sarah V. Guys, I'm telling you, this was a whole production. Like I would film a music video at school and like record at the same time. And like I was promoting the song like in all my classes, like on the whiteboard, like I would write like, oh, Sarah V coming this Friday. So finally it gets to the day when I drop the song, right? Tell me why I'm immediately escorted to the office. And I'm walking past and I see my mom sitting there. And I could hear her like watching the music video like in the office. And so basically like they tell me like, oh, this is cyberbullying, like you can't do this. But what about when he broke my phone? Where was all this energy then? Like, guys, as I'm still in the office, like I can hear this man outside. And someone tells me, oh, his dad is outside. And I can hear his dad basically being like, where's that bitch? Where's that bitch? Guys, I was literally like 15 or 16. Basically, I had him and his family hella heated, okay? That's how you know I did a good job, like. And so basically they tell me I'm gonna get suspended for 3 days. The way the song wasn't even that serious and it was just funny was so like unnecessary. Guys, and the funniest part out of all of this is that he went and got a dermatologist after I made that song. Okay, moral of the story, don't fuck with me or I will make a song about you. But anyways, that's the end of the video and as always, love you guys, bye.
You guys love my story time, so I'm gonna give you what you want. So obviously all of this happened on a random Friday night. I wasn't trying to cause any trouble. To be honest, at first I wasn't even trying to sneak out, but then the group chat started buzzing. I'm not going to give the real names of the people, so let's call one boy Daniel and one boy Oscar. And then it was obviously me and another girl called Bella. So Daniel sent a message to the group chat saying that everyone's pulling up to Jay's house. This is one of our other friends, but he's not in our friendship group. Basically saying that his parents are out of the country and it's gonna be lit, so come. So obviously at that point, I really want to go because there's a party and what the hell, I'm normally like a homebody, but I was really bored that Friday night. So I'm just staring at that message and thinking, what can I do? Because I know my parents are not going to let me out. Everyone's already messaging me. Bella's asking me, how are we gonna get there? Let's go. Obviously my room is 3rd floor, so I got up with a plan like really quickly. So my house does have alarms and cameras everywhere except the garden. And when we go to sleep, obviously my parents put the alarm on. At this point it was like 7 p.m. Usually I go to sleep really late, so I had this game plan basically to put some clothes under my bed and act like I'm sleeping there. Make sure to tell my parents that I'm going to have an early night to fix my sleeping schedule because they know it's not good. So I rolled with that. I said good night to my parents. I put the clothes in my bed to make it seem like there's someone sleeping in there. So obviously my room is facing the garden and 3rd floor, so the 2nd floor I can access it really quickly and then go down to the garden. So that is exactly what I do. I open my window and try to get to the 2nd floor without making any noise or hurting myself. So this was all at about 11:49ish. It took me about 5 minutes to get down to the garden. Obviously my parents go to sleep really early because they need to wake up to take my siblings to school, and then obviously by Friday they just feel really tired, so they go to sleep at that time anyways. My friend came to actually pick me up. We got to the house of Jay's. It was actually so fun. I've never had so much fun, especially with me like having to stress about sneaking out. Like, I don't know, it was just all so fun. Up until 2:30 a.m. my phone starts buzzing, like spam buzzing. I'm like, what the hell, who's texting me at this time? And I check and it's my mother. She goes, where are you, in all capital letters. I'm gonna leave it like this. Comment if you want a part 2.
Story time on how this creepy guy watched me while I was at work for hours. So basically I was like 16 or 17 and I worked at an ice cream store like I still do now. And it was just me and my coworker working, which, you know, we were like the same age. And this guy comes into the store and was like, can I use your phone? So now I would say this guy was probably like mid-30s, but you can tell he was a little less, let's just say less clean looking than the average person. So he asked to use a phone, and without like a second thought, I was like, sure. And I give him the store phone, and he sits at the front, at the table and chairs, and he's like calling someone. I'm like, okay. And then literally like 2 minutes later, he comes back up to the counter where I'm standing, hands me the phone, and goes, they didn't answer, thanks anyway, and then leaves the store. And then 5 minutes after that, he comes back in the store and goes, I need to call this person to pick me up. Can I try calling them again? I'm like, sure. I don't care. And he's sitting back down at the table and chairs, calling them. And now he's sitting there for like at least a half hour, calling and calling, like just sitting there. And keep in mind, he's like he's staring at us. Like I tried to like not notice it, but he was like staring at us as he's calling this person at least like 30 times. So now this was all towards like the beginning of my shift. And then it started to get busier because it started to get later, and you know, it's an ice cream store. And I kind of like forgot about him. But as the time went on and it got less busy, he was still sitting there like the whole time. So now it had been almost 2 hours that he had been in the store calling someone and watching us. And then when it got a little less busy, I saw that he was still there and like staring at me and my coworker, and I was staring back at him because I was like, what are you looking at? So then he saw that I was looking at him, and he gets up, hands me the phone again, and was like, they're not answering, thanks. So obviously this was all like a major red flag, but nothing like this had ever happened before. So like we didn't like actually think anything bad was happening. But then this like maybe 50-year-old dad and like his daughter come in, and I guess they like notice him, like he's just like creepy looking. He's standing there, and then he whispers to me, my coworker, he's like, is this guy creeping you guys out? Like, do you want me to tell him to leave? So then when he saw like a concern with this guy, that's when me and my coworker were like, wait, like maybe this is really weird. So now while that guy was gone, like he left the store again after being in there for probably a total of 2 hours, me and my coworker were like, let's check the phone to see like how many times this guy's called someone. So we take the phone and look at like the previous calls. When we did this, our hearts dropped. So the moment that we actually started getting scared was when we checked the recent calls on the phone, because it said that the last person to like be called on that phone was our boss. And our boss had called us through that phone like before he came in for the first time. So basically what that had meant was that while that guy was there for hours claiming to make calls for someone to pick him up, he didn't make one call. Like he didn't dial one number the entire time that he was holding that phone up and staring at us. So once we put those pieces together, we called our boss and gave her a short story of what happened, and her feedback to that story was, you can't give customers the phone to use. So now it's late in our shift, it's like pitch black outside, we're cleaning to close, and he comes back in again and asks, and we say yes because honestly we'd rather say yes than be scared to see what happens if we say no, because we know that like we were saying yes and he was just sitting there. So we were like, let's just be safe, like sure, whatever. But then we text our boss and we're like, he's back again. So then
gives me back the phone, leaves, normal routine, but keep in mind this is all over now like a 4-hour span. And then my boss comes in with her husband, and we're looking at the security footage on her phone of him coming in, sitting there like for the whole shift. So while we're looking at the security footage, he opens the door, and then my boss's husband tells him, "Get out, you're scaring these girls, get out." So then my boss and her husband like basically like were yelling at him as they were like pushing him outside, like saying like, "Don't come back, like you can't do that, you're being really creepy, like leave these girls alone." So then he left. And that was at the very end of our shift. So if he had stayed there like he kind of planned to until we closed, like what would have happened when we were leaving the store, considering our store closed at 10 and every other store closed before us. Me and my coworkers' cars were the only cars in the parking lot, dead parking lot, just us. Like, what would have happened if we didn't get someone to kick him out? I don't really know if anything bad would have happened at the end of that shift, but never saw him again, and I'm glad I didn't have to find out. So I guess the moral of the story is don't let someone use your phone because they might just want to stare at you like a creep. Yeah, well, here's the outfit. Pretty casual, and thanks for watching.
Get ready with me while I talk about one of my most evilest talking stages ever. He might have been from hell, I don't know. Technically, he was my man at one point in time. See this on your FYP, comment FYP. Basically, this takes place the summer before 7th grade. We're gonna call him Q. Basically, I had met Q on Snapchat one day. So me and my friend were just talking, hanging out, and Q had added me out of nowhere. But Q had basically sent a picture of himself, and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. So I was definitely 110% going. Sent a picture of myself, and he was like, oh, you cute too. I was like, I am. The thing about Q is, y'all, he could barely type. Like, he was kind of slow, but he was in a grade above me, but he was slow. So he had texted me, and he was like oh, I want to get some pizza. And you're like, Destiny, what's slow about that? He didn't spell it that way. Well, it looked like, I want to get out. Can we get some pleaser? And I was like, what's pleaser? You want to please me? So I was like, what the fuck is he saying? And me and my friend just cracking up. I was like, oh, my man kind of slow a little bit. And she's like, yeah. But later that day, he had asked me out and asked me to be his girlfriend. I was like, yes. Mind y'all, after one day, not even a full day, like 10 hours, 8 hours, everything was going good for a short while or whatever. Like, I was talking to him. We were having good little conversation one, two. Like, I was like, okay, this is my man. And I never met him in real life though before, but he lived in the same city I did. Basically, my friend had a birthday trip in Chicago that summer, and I had went. So basically, I was telling all my friends on the trip or whatever, oh, my man, he's so cute or whatever. Just sent him a streak of everybody, and he was like, who's that girl in the back? She fine. So I'm like, what do you mean who that girl in the back is? She fine. I'm like, that's literally my friend. You're my boyfriend. So basically, all my friends, they start going off on him. They start sending voice memos from Snapchat because we were texting on Snapchat. And they're like, some, you weird as play. One moment, my friend would be going off on him or whatever, talking about some, oh, you weird. And then he would be like some, oh, you ugly as fuck. But then the next moment, he's like, babe, don't listen to them. So basically, I was trying to play little devil's advocate for this man, talking about, well, he's so nice to me. And if your man ever disrespects your friends, cut him off immediately. No. Basically, after that, I cut him off. And you're thinking, oh, that's the end of it. Y'all, it's next summer, and he had moved to a whole different state or whatever. Y'all, why the fuck did this man add me and my 3 best friends to a group chat? Whole situation that happened a month or 2 earlier with this girl, whatever, and he was like, oh, y'all scary as fuck. Y'all so scared of her. I'm like, bro, why'd you ask to the group chat to tell us that? We weren't scary at the time. He was just being messy. Mind y'all, he's over here telling us all this, that, and the third, but he's also flirting with all of us. So he's over here texting me one minute in the group chat. He's like, Destiny, I miss you, babe, I miss you, da-da-da. And y'all, he didn't even spell my name right. He spelled it so dyslexic because he's dumb. But to like Destiny, and I'm like, the fuck? Next moment, he flirting with my 2 other homegirls. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? It's weird. He didn't even stop at homegirls. He started flirting with my homeboy too. But y'all, this video is already getting way too long. If y'all want a part 2 on more stuff that he did, I can make a part 2. But bye, y'all.
Okay, get ready with me while I tell you about my psychotic roommate who said I threatened to stab and kill him. Okay, so me and my roommate weren't really like that close in the beginning because we were both random, and it took us like a while to warm up to each other. But eventually we did, and I started like introducing her around to my friends. But during this time, I guess she wasn't really making friends, so like my friends like quickly became her friends. And so it kind of like became this bond with me, 2 of my other friends, and my roommate, and it was kind of like the 4 of us were a very tight bond. But just keep that in mind that like the 4 of us were really tight. Like one night we literally stayed up from 10 p.m. all the way up until 5 a.m. like just like telling each other everything. And with that, the 4 of us, we would all go out with each other. But one night my roommate met this guy at the club, and I guess they like exchanged numbers and stuff, and they began talking. Okay, this is like pretty early in the school year, so we hadn't had like a roommate like agreement actually made yet. But one morning I wake up and he's just in the room, and I'm like, what? And so after that incident, I kind of sit on a ground rule. I was like, okay, that was not okay from now on. Like, you have to let me know in advance if someone's coming to like the room last minute. Now, keep that in mind. So we fast forward to
2 weekends ago, and it's parents weekend. Okay, both of our parents were in town for parents weekend, and so we were like both busy the whole weekend, but she still went out with a couple of our other friends Friday night. But on Friday, I'm awakened to a call at 4:30 in the morning from my roommate, and I'm like, yes, and she answers the phone, and she's like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm sleeping over at our friend's dorm tonight, is that okay? And I was like, I just want to let you know. And so I answer the phone, and she's like, okay, I'm just calling to let you know I'm staying at like our friend's dorm tonight. I'm like, okay, but like could have been a text low-key. But after she called me, I like could not go back to sleep. Like I was like up for the whole rest of the night, just like up. And so Saturday comes around, and she goes to Universal for the whole day with her parents, and I spend the day with my parents. And so Saturday night comes back, and we finally see each other, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so tired. After you called me last night, like I could not go back to sleep. Like once I'm up, like it's so annoying, da 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 da. And then she's like, oh yeah, like I'm so tired too. I spent the whole day at Disney. I'm exhausted, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I have a 5K I've been training for with my dad tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, so I have to go to sleep. And so we both go to sleep, and that's that. That was not just that. I awaken at 3:30 from a call from my roommate. And so I answer, I'm like, hello, like last time I saw you, you were really asleep. And she's like, oh, you're on speakerphone, but can I bring this guy over to the room at 3:30 a.m.? And I'm like half asleep, so I'm like, what? Like, what are you saying? Then she goes, can a guy come over? And then like she pauses and she like whispers and she's like, help me get rid of him, like I need you to help me get rid of him. And so at this point, I'm like thinking she's in danger, so I'm like, oh my god, like yeah, come back to the room. Now, when she comes back to the room, she like is whispering to her person. She goes like, shh, wait by the door. And she runs over to my bed over here, and her bed's on that side, and she goes, no matter what he says, like say no, he cannot stay here. I don't want him in this room tonight. And me, being the good roommate that I am, I was like, okay, yeah, like let me help you out. Let me like bring him in, like so I can tell him to get out. And so he comes in and he walks up to my bed. He's like, hey, my name is so-and-so. And I was like, oh, my name's Hampton, but I actually like don't want you in here tonight. Like I'm really tired. I have stuff in the morning, and like you have to go. I've never seen a man more butthurt. He goes, what? No, like you have to let me stay. Like it's supposed to be cool. It's chill. And so I'm like, no, like I don't even know you. You have to get out of here. And he's like, oh, we can get to know each other. What did you just say to me? And so I'm like, no, leave. And he and I are just going back and forth. And while all this is happening, my roommate is texting me, and I can try and put like inserts somewhere, and she's like, tell him no, like tell him to leave, tell him to get out. And I'm like, girl, I'm trying, please help. And then at some point he's like, oh, you're just so rude and commandeering and dominating of the room, you don't even care what your roommate says. And I said, okay, then let's. And she goes, oh, well, my roommate doesn't want you here, but I do, so I don't know. Like, excuse me? And like at that point, I'm pissed. I text her, I was like, I just gave you an out. Why would you dig yourself further into this? Like, I'm trying to help you out. And she's like, sorry, but now this guy like thinks he has a right to be in the room because my roommate said he could be in the room. And so him and I go back and forth again until I threaten to call an RA. And mind you, like I don't know who this kid is. I don't even know if he goes to our school. And so of course he's like, okay, I'll leave. So he leaves. Why does my roommate follow him out of the room? So all that get him out of here bullshit was not even. And so I'm like, what was even that? So I at this point just cannot go back to sleep. But it doesn't matter because my roommate texts me like a minute after and is like, can you call me, or are you up? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, can you call me and ask me to come back to the room? And so at this point I'm so annoyed, but what do I, because I'm such a good roommate, what do? I go ahead and call her. And so I call her and I'm like, hello, where are you? And she's like, you're on speakerphone. I'm out here on the boardwalk like outside our dorm with what's his name? And I'm like, oh, when are you coming back? And she's like, oh, when do you want me to come back? I said, now. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she mutes herself for a few seconds, and then she comes back. She's like, do you want me to come back alone? I was like, yes, come back alone. Like, what? And so she comes like flopping back into the room, and she's like giggling. She goes, haha, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I go, I'm gonna kill you. And so of course I sleep in and I miss my 5K I was training for with my dad. And so now I haven't talked to her all day Sunday, and it's reaching almost all day Monday. But on Monday night she came in, like I didn't see her all day, and she comes into the room and she's like searching for something or like trying to pack clothes together, and she's like slamming her wardrobe. She's running over like to the bathroom, and all this I have our two friends over that she's friends with too, and she's not speaking to them, she's not looking at them, she's not anything, like she's not even acknowledging that they're like in the room. And so after like she was being rude to our friends who like did nothing to her, I was like, okay, like now she has an attitude, like we gotta talk this out. And so Tuesday rolls around and I get a moment with her, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I just have a lot going on right now, like I don't really talk about it. I was like, oh, well then can we talk about like what happened Saturday night? And she's like, no, I don't want to talk about that either. And at this point, like I raised my voice. I'm like, you brought a random guy here, like, and disturbed me in the middle of my sleep to help me kick him out, and then you lie and you don't want to talk about it. And so that starts a screaming match. And so we're arguing. I'm like, why were you being rude? Like all I wanted is an apology and for you to take accountability. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do about it? It's already passed, it already happened, like what do you want me to do? Mind you, all I wanted was an apology and accountability. But we're just screaming, and she's just like, well, you're not perfect either. And I'm like, well, what do I do? She's like, well, sometimes you tell me to like kill myself. And I'm like, okay, I do say that, but like we play a lot of games, and I'll say it in the setting of like, oh, you want a game, I'm jealous of you, like kill yourself. Like but I've also had people who don't like it come up to me and tell me to stop, and I have stopped, but she's never once like seemed uncomfortable with the joke or had ever said anything about it. But I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time, like sorry. Then I'm like, okay, what else? And she's like, and also sometimes you rage bait me. And I do that, but again, I've kept doing, like, she's never had a, like, she's joked back with me about it. Like, you've never once mentioned that a problem. But again, I'm like, you know what? I take accountability for my actions. I apologize. I'm sorry. And then I asked her, like, why are you being so rude to our friends who were in here? And she was like, oh, I heard they were, like, talking shit about me. And I was like, baby girl, we have been the closest friends ever. Like, why would you ever act like that? Like, that's so weird. And she just keeps making excuses. At this point, I, like, don't want to hear it anymore. Like, our argument kind of fizzles out and she leaves the room. Okay, I'm out of time, but I don't know if you guys would even, like, want a part 2 to this or not, because it gets crazier. And basically she's in a victim support group right now for...
I got my best friend's brother on her birthday. So this happened back in 2020. I was like 18, almost 19. Looking back at it, I feel like this girl always had it out for me. She was just always like making fun of me and judging me, and come to find out after we stopped being friends, she had a lot to say about me behind my back when we were friends. So let's skip to September for her 21st birthday. So we're excited. She rents out an Airbnb. She invites the whole friend group, including Mr. 53 on a good day. And she invites her little brother. Bitch, I'm excited. Like, it's my bestie's 21st. We gonna get fucked up. Honestly, I'm just gonna fast forward to the end of the night. Everyone that was supposed to leave left, and everybody that was supposed to stay had gone to bed. So me and her had a room that we picked out that we were gonna share together. But me and Mr. 53 were not speaking at this time. Like, he had cut me off at this point, and he was being trifling as a motherfucker, and he took my spot in that room and he fucking locked the door behind him. And then one room was occupied by my other bestie, and I didn't want to wake her up. And then the other room was occupied by this one bitch I didn't like, so I wasn't gonna go in there. And her little brother happened to be in the living room, so I was like, okay, like, I don't mind being out there tonight. So we hang out and gets even more fucked up than we already were. And honestly, at this point, I don't really remember much, but I do remember at some point our booty cheeks was out in the middle of the living room on that couch, and anybody could have walked out and seen us. Whatever, that happens, we go to bed, and then I wake up the next morning with a fat ass hickey on my neck, and somehow nobody noticed it. I tried to keep it a secret from her for a while, but I ended up feeling bad about it, so I told her. Honestly, guys, she played it off really well because I thought we were cool, until a few hours later I realized I was blocked on everything. So, like, I deserved it, so I wasn't too mad about it. We did eventually talk it out. We weren't friends anymore, but we were cordial. I was until I found out she was talking shit on Twitter on some, imagine being in love with somebody who wants nothing to do with you, or something like that. Talk about me and my little stink Mr. 53. So I said some shit about the married man she was with. She tried to pretend like she was talking about herself in the tweet, but be so fucking for real, bitch. The timing is perfect. Especially because that wasn't the only tweet she's made about me. So whatever, that happened, and eventually we made up because we had the same friends and went to all the same parties and we were cool. So it's been years. I have not talked to her, but me and her brother did start seeing each other last year, secretly. But I did recently cut him off because he gave me the ick and I got bored and he didn't really know what he was doing. He's like consistently in my DMs begging to see me and I refuse. I should have refused back then too, but I was young and in my crazy era, so it is what it is. Anyways, here's a look.